Hey guys, welcome to RPA feed. In this video, we'll be discussing how we can integrate ChatGPT in Automation 360, that is A360. Last week, I have created one video where I was showing how you can integrate ChatGPT within your Power Automate desktop. So we'll follow the same example, but this time a different RPA tool. Okay, so let's get started with it. So in order to integrate that, I'll be showing a simple use case where we are taking input from the user and we are displaying the response from ChatGPT. So in order to do that, you need community account on community edition of A360, and you need to create an account on OpenAI. Okay, so I'll paste this all these details in the description. You don't need to worry on it. So let's hit this URL beta.openai.com, and you need to log in, or if you do not have an account, you need to create an account in order to generate your API keys. And these API keys are really needed. They are the prerequisite for you to consume the open APIs. Okay, so you need to generate your API, your secret key over here. You can click on create new secret key and your secret key will be generated. You can copy that and preserve it somewhere, because otherwise after that you will not be able to see the complete secret key. So remember, you copy it and store it. If you forget it, you don't need to worry. You can delete your existing key and create a new secret key, and you have to update that new secret key in your bot wherever you are using it. So this is first step. The second step is we'll be using this URI, this endpoint, to post our query, post our request, and then we'll get a response. So this is URI, and this is the header section that we'll be including, and this is the JSON parameters. So I'll show you step by step how you can do that. You want to follow along with me, you can follow along as well. So first we will, for accepting the input from user, so we'll use prompt package, and in prompt package we'll use prompt for value. Okay, because we need a text value input, right? So here, query to chat GPT. Okay, let me name it like this. Please enter your query. Okay, and here we need to create one variable which will hold this query. So let me rename it. Name it as user input. Okay, create. So whatever user will enter, we'll be storing it in user input. Our query will reside in this. Now next step is, or better, I can use steps also here. So first step is user input, taking input from user. Okay, this is my first step. Next step is creating, like, calling the REST APIs. So using REST API or REST web service, we can call OpenAI. So calling the Open API, let's name it like this. And in actions, we need to go to REST web services, and from REST web services available actions, we need post method. So in the URI, we need to enter this URL completions. Okay, and then we need to do a few settings, like for example, in header section, we need to define authorization. I have already mentioned here authorization keyword we need to write here, and then we'll select insecure string for the demo purpose. You can either go storing it in a variable or credentials. Okay, I'll be still using variable here for API key. So I have created one variable with the name API key, and over there I have stored my API key, just so that it's not visible in the demo. That's why I have done it. You can probably straight away mention your API key here itself. So this is my variable API key, okay, which will have the value of my API. And then once we go ahead, below here, there are custom parameters. Content type is JSON, application slash JSON, because we'll be sending our data in a JSON format to the API. Okay, so we have selected this application JSON. If you want to send it to the XML format, you can select XML, provided the API accepts the response. API accepts the request in the JSON, in the XML format. Okay, so here in the parameters, we'll go ahead and paste this. I'll paste this in description of this video as well. So here the model which we'll be using is DaVinci 003, and the prompt. So this is our query which we'll be sending to the which will be the question or the query that we'll be sending to the bot, ChatGPT bot. Okay, so remember, we have taken our input in user input variable, and here we are passing it in the variable user input. Okay, so these are few other parameters that are needed along with the request. And here, this is the like wait for action to complete, which is around 60,000 milliseconds, which is approximately 1 minute. And here we need to assign output, like whatever the response of this API would be, we need to hold that back in a variable. So let me define one dictionary variable over here. Let's create a dictionary variable named response from ChatGPT, okay, and create it. So this is our value which is being hold here. And let me run this and print a message box here so that you guys can see the how the response is coming back over here. We'll type response from ChatGPT, and the body will pass the key of this dictionary. So body is the key which will hold the value. And let me run this. So here we will be passing on our query to the ChatGPT, and if everything works well, ChatGPT will give us a response. Okay. So query to ChatGPT, please enter your query. So what is RPA? Let's enter this query, click on OK, and we should get a response in a message box. So we got this response, and remember this response is in a JSON format, and we need this text to be displayed in a message box. So RPA is a technology that allow organization to automate repetitive tasks. So we are not interested in these other uh, keys, other JSON keys. We are only interested in this choices and text. This key we are interested in. So how to get this key? We have to use JSON package for that. So let's go ahead and use JSON start session, end session, and in between that get node value. Okay. So start session would be the text from where we want to extract the JSON, which will be same as this. So I have pasted this, and the default session name, let me update the session name to ChatGPT. I need to update it for all ChatGPT. Instead of using default, this should be a best practice. We use specific session names. Okay, ChatGPT. So this is done. Now here, what will be the node key or path? So remember, we wanted to extract the text from uh, the JSON key as choices, and choices was a list, a list key, like it was a nested key. So in choices, at the 0th position, we want to extract the text value of text. So this is how our JSON node key will look like, or the JSON path will look like. So we need to save this outcome to a variable, and we need to define a string variable. So let me define as response from API, let's say. And this is all we have done. And instead of this, let me disable this message box for now and include a message box at the end where we get the response from API. So this is our final response. Okay. Let me use the steps where I have missed using it. So calling the API, then after that, the step would be, so let me first go ahead here and let's say JSON extraction. Okay. Let me call this JSON extraction and move all the JSON part into this. And at last, this will be my final step where I display the response from chat GPT. Okay, so this will be just a message box. So we are done. We are getting instead of getting the input from user, then we are calling the API, Open API, and we are doing the JSON extraction, JSON manipulation. You can call it JSON manipulation as well, and then finally the response from ChatGPT. Very simple. Let's run this now. We can do error handling as well in this, including like using the try catch blocks. If something goes wrong over the fly, then you will be able to capture that error. What is hyper automation? Let's ask this to our chat GPT and wait for the response. And we got this, right? Hyper automation is a combination of multiple automation technologies such as RPA, AI, ML, blah, blah, blah. So this is what we got from chat GPT as a response. Let me close this. Let me run this again. This time we'll ask something else. What are career options in RPA. Okay, click on OK. Let's wait for the response. And we got this response. So RPA developer, architect, consultant. So these are the response. Bot gave us the 10 different titles as a career options. Okay. So this is how you can play around it. You can play around it with the integration from Automation Anywhere and ChatGPT. So this is just a basic example which I covered irrespective of the Power Automate video. You can try your hands on using forms or interactive forms of automation in here or RE requests. You can integrate those along using OpenAPI and play around it. If you need more videos around this integration, please comment on below this video. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to share this video with your friends. Thank you.